Welcome to the
HR. Show, I think is how it works.
Welcome to the HR happy hour work break. Don't mess me up, Steve Bose. No, so everyone knows, like it'll say live, but it doesn't start until the countdown starts. So
is that, does everyone know that? I'm not sure I even knew that. Okay,
you
fair enough.
know that? No, it says live, and then it's like, then you see a little clock. So I always wait a second or two to make sure it's going. So
that's clever. That's smart of you.
Thanks for screwing it up, Steve. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? This is the weirdest week of semi-work or work all year long. Don't you think that in between Christmas and New Year's week, it's so weird who's working, who's not working, who's semi-working, plus with the pandemic and work from home, it's probably even more odd. I can't figure out what to make of it.
It is. I agree. You know, when I worked in public accounting, we got to the point where we would give people the 2 weeks off, Christmas and New Year's, and let them be with their families because, and I worked HR for the tax department. So they were gearing up. Once January hit, they were, you didn't see them for 5 months. So, so I was kind of used to that, but then it was weird. And I don't know if places still think about this, but it got to be where, like anything, like a Christmas bonus or something, it becomes an expectation. And so then they would change it up. Like one year you would get Christmas and the next year you would get 4th of July week off. Because again, that's a weird one too. It's always like in the middle of the week. And anyway, so, hey, I do have one quick question for you.
Sure.
I was listening to you on the HR Happy Hour on Alexa show.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
And you were talking about, I listen to it all the time. Of course. And sometimes I'm even on it, rarely, but sometimes. Yeah, dozens. And no, you were talking about this idea of open hiring.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to point out, because I thought that was exceptionally interesting. So for people that don't know, can you just give them like the 10-second version and they can go listen to you, because it's really interesting story and concept. And I think it could be really cool for other companies to try it. So I hadn't heard much about it.
I'm happy to. Late last year and then continuing into this year, the retail company, The Body Shop, you might be familiar with, sells like personal care products, lotions, shampoos, et cetera, in the malls kind of thing, kind of a big chain of stores. Sort of late last year, they decided to pilot this concept called open hiring, and basically for their distribution centers. Okay. So warehouse type jobs, stockers, pickers, et cetera. So basically the concept was this: if you could answer yes to 3 questions, right? And the questions were, are you eligible to work in the United States? This is for a U.S. place in North Carolina, actually, oddly enough, where I live. If you're eligible to live in the United States, if you're able to stand and work on your feet for up to 8 hours at a time, and you're able to lift 50 pounds, which are typical job requirements for these warehouse distribution center jobs, right? Normally, if you could answer yes to all those 3 questions, we'd hire you. It was first come, first serve hiring. We weren't going to background check you. We weren't going to drug test you. We weren't going to screen you. We weren't going to bring you in for an interview, right? We were just answer yes to those 3 questions. You're hired. And that's what open hiring is.
Don't give the results, because I do want people to go and listen to the show. And you can just go to hrhappyhour.net and hear that. But it's an interesting concept. And I think that, I don't even know if I've told you much about this, but before, like while I was still in college, I actually had a full-time job and I was working for Manpower. And so I started out because I thought that's a good way to get interview experience, interview a lot of people. And we did maybe 80% manufacturing positions, 20% administrative. And so I spent a lot of time filling factory roles, things like that with like General Electric. We have a GE plant here in the city that does packaging of light bulbs. We had Contico. We had, we did the Nabisco egg beaters are made here in St. Louis.
Love the egg beaters.
I know, right? So anyway, but it was similar to that. And so, and again, I'm not going to give away what the result was, but it's just interesting when you think about that. If you hire a temp agency to fill those kind of jobs, that's kind of all they're guaranteeing, really. They may background check them, but a lot of times you don't even do that. And so, if you can hire people, open hiring direct, I think it's a pretty interesting concept.
It's a pretty compelling argument as well, where we're at right now with lots and lots of people unemployed, lots of people hopefully getting back into the workplace in 2021. Hopefully, knock on wood, things will start to bounce back and more organizations will be looking to hire, right, in Q1, say, of 2021. And hey, it could be a way to just streamline that whole process and give people opportunity who really need it. People who may not have the impeccable background you're searching for, right? They've maybe been out of work for a while. They've got some other things in their past. So I love it. Thank you for bringing that up. It's a great story, and check it out on the Alexa Show today.
You know, and I just, the last point I was gonna make for thought is just, it would be interesting to me if it were not just for a manufacturing type distribution role, if it were like, what if any one of us hired somebody kind of sight unseen? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Did they get a degree? I mean, obviously you can't do it for every job, right? Highly technical. Of course you need that background, but you know what I mean? Like, think about in our company, right? If we needed to hire someone to help us, we would probably have in our mind, like, oh, it'd be great if they had an HR background or a tech background, or, you know, college degree, all those things, which would be nice. But I wonder, could you actually hire someone who had none of those and actually get them to do?
I think it'd be kind of refreshing to actually work with someone who wasn't coming from the same space we were and thinking about the same things we are and kind of having a lot of the same experiences we have, which, you know, because we have similar, well, not exactly the same backgrounds, but similar experiences. We've done a lot of the same things, especially since we've been doing this show and the podcast and other things. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have someone come in who had none of that, right? We might learn something.
Well, so we hired Karen Hunter, who had her entire education and her entire career was in education, right? Yeah. So handles more of the learning side of things for us. But it's in that same vein. Again, I don't know. I would love to hear if anyone out there has thought of it or would be willing to try it. In our HR
it's a really cool concept. I hope it catches on a little bit more, for sure.
Anyway, I didn't mean to steal your whole. I know you got some notes.
Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, I love doing the show.
I love the episode. You're so good too. It really is such a nice way to wake up.
On the Alexa Show, though, by the way, it's not this style. It's much more like it's the NPR voice.
It's the NPR voice style. No, it's good. I think that's good. It actually gives you some really interesting things that are truly work related to think about. So yeah, I would encourage people to go listen to you.
Thank you. Hey, Trish, I have one for you because it's kind of a semi-local story for you. Trish, I am aware I've been out in your area a number of times over the years. I'm aware, Trish, that the local grocery chain in the area where you live is called Schnucks.
Yes, Schnucks. Yeah.
And Schnucks was in the news for a really cool thing. And so for folks who don't know, Schnucks is a family-owned grocery chain with about 110 locations in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin, and one near where your host of the show, Trish, lives. This is what they did, which is a really cool thing, I think. They gave each of their approximately 14,000 employees, each person, a $15 gift card. But here's the cool thing. The gift card was set up to be spent at a local restaurant or eatery, a bakery, a coffee shop, et cetera, within 5 miles of that person's work location. How the technology can geofence these cards is pretty amazing, but I guess it can do it.
Yeah.
To sort of put some more money back into the hands of these grocery store, not grocery stores, to the restaurants, to the, I don't think bars probably, but like bakeries and other shops like that, coffee shops that really need it, right? They're really struggling. So it's about a $200,000 total spend, but a really cool idea. It's not so much about the money and how much it was, but just, hey, we need to get more. We need to support these local establishments, and here's how we can do it. So they benefit their employees by giving them, hey, like a free lunch or free dinner, et cetera, right? And they also benefit the local community and these small businesses, right, that are trying to survive and really are hanging on. So cool thing. I wanted to shout them out. And I saw this and I knew, Schnucks, I know Schnucks. So, and I thought you'd like that too.
No, that's great. So that was my second job ever, was working at Schnucks. I worked in the video and general merchandise department.
Nice.
I also operated a lottery machine, and
that was a great department back then. I know.
Oh my gosh.
You guys really killed it.
I loved working in the video department. I think that was like 1987, 88, something like that.
You're fighting off that blockbuster traffic, right? And yeah, you're dealing with that. So hey, I have one more shout out I want to mention.
Yeah, they're great.
Real quick. I'm wearing a new shirt today, Trish. It's
Memphis.
From the Memphis Tams.
What are Tams?
A Tam is a hat.
Is it a hat?
Okay. It actually stands for Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. Technically, when they created this team, this was an American Basketball Association team, the old ABA league, right? The league that competed with the NBA for a while.
Oh my gosh.
In the late 60s and early 70s. The Memphis Tams, in addition to having a great color scheme and a great kind of logo, eventually moved, Trish, to San Antonio, became the San Antonio Spurs.
Are they the Spurs?
Yes, and eventually the San Antonio Spurs, when the ABA and the NBA merged, only 4 ABA teams actually were accepted into the NBA. So not the whole league, just 4.
Oh.
The San Antonio Spurs were one of them. So the legacy of the Memphis Tams is in the San Antonio Spurs, who've had a great 20-odd year run and won a number of championships in the NBA. But I wanted to shout it out because I bought a few shirts for myself and a few gifts at this holiday season from a website that is so cool. I wanted to shout them out. It's called oldschoolshirts.com. And they have incredible sports shirts, pop culture, local places, ice cream shops, drive-ins, diners, just you name it. Totally cool. You'll spend like a couple of hours on this site, like picking out cool stuff. So shout out to oldschoolshirts.com, where I got some stuff for me and a couple of gifts this holiday season. So I wanted to shout them out. I
love that. Now, wait, okay. So did you know the story, I guess, before you bought the shirt, that particular shirt?
I was aware of the Memphis Tams, but not the whole story. And I did a little quick Wikipedia search because I was curious once I got the shirt. So
I love the color of it.
Yeah, that's why I bought it. Actually, I like the color scheme. So shout out to the Tams and a really cool website if you like those kind of old-timey shirts. So there you go.
Well, good stuff. Well, hey, listen, thanks for taking a work break with me. This was fun.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people watching today. So anyway, I hope they're all checking out.
It's great.
For Happy Hour on Alexa. You can subscribe to that. Subscribe to the podcast.
New podcast this morning with MetLife, all about mental health in the workplace. Dropped this morning.
Yes, it was a good show. I've actually still got the notes right in front of me from our friend Tracy.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, lots of benefit planning tips. So, all right, well, good stuff. Listen, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Oh, I like that. Bye.
Salute.